Hey everybody, welcome to the HIT.OR.DIE podcast, episode 36. We're here with Bush League 8, I guess. Bush League 8, right, Sally? We got Lappin and Underwood's back with us after he wasn't here last time. We had Jacques Lamour. Welcome back to the show, guys. We got a lot to talk about, mainly, I guess, the Astros cheating scandal. We'll go through that.
I guess.
No, we will go through that. We will also talk about you big time fans out there that say we and us and like act like you're part of the team when you're not. We'll talk about that. And yeah, let's get it right into this shit. So, Sally, you want to start with the Astros thing since they didn't do it?
In what sense did they not do it?
I want to see proof. I want to see video proof of them in there taking signs, and I want to see them hitting the trash can. The trash can thing still boggles me. I just feel like as an opposing player, that shit wouldn't happen. You'd definitely stop that. And I guess we're joined by Anthony Pedrozo's on the phone.
Boo. Call from the clubhouse.
This is your third appearance?
Oh, look, I'm looking right here at Pappy right now because I walked over to his office. He wasn't answering.
It's because he doesn't want to be bothered by you. I want to talk.
First day.
How did you throw somebody out of a game? Can you even talk about it?
Drozo's a referee, basketball referee, and he texted us last night when we were trying to get the Bush League together that he threw somebody out of a basketball game, which is, I mean, who throws anybody out of a basketball game?
Was it JV?
So we'll get this story real quick.
It was elementary girls basketball, 6th grade.
I sure hope not.
You're not serious, really? Are you? You're not serious, right? You're.
No, I'm not serious.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised you're doing 6th grade girls basketball.
Where the money's at.
So, can you even talk about it?
I gave a technical foul, which honestly I probably would take back the technical foul. And I think I had rabbit ears, which, you know, some officials do have rabbit ears, but sometimes enough's enough. It's like that one time where Andy got ejected and didn't say anything.
Yeah, thanks. That was your fault.
Well, it was probably me and Chad's grandpa.
Yeah.
Yes.
It was.
That was honey.
Yeah, it was honey.
Hey.
So,
Hey,
continue.
Andy. I miss you, Andy.
It's airtime,
anyway.
bro. Let's go.
Xanta Pedrozo show.
So I gave a technical foul to the coach and the head coach, and then the assistant coach came up and like charged at me from the bench, and I went baseball status and gave him a strong throw out.
Well, baseball doesn't use whistles, so it wasn't baseball.
Well,
I can see him like this.
I think I
throwing technical
threw out
fouls.
my shoulder. I think I threw out my shoulder trying to toss him.
Do you have like a yellow flag you pull out of your pocket and throw?
I wish.
I want to know what you considered charging at you. Was it like when I charged at the umpire and Andy had to hold me back? Or?
At Edison?
No,
Not
that was
quite
Singer.
like that. Not quite like that, but it was like that.
What was the call?
Yeah, what was the call?
The coach the coach thought his big girl was getting fouled on the shot. Mind you, she made the basket.
Now, hold on. What do you mean when you say big girl? What are you referring to?
Choose your words carefully.
Oh, I know. The center.
Like, is she the big girl meaning like she's their best player?
Tall and skinny, so it sounds like.
Like
she is tall and skinny.
She's
and
the
probably
post
one of our
player.
top players.
She's the 5.
Yeah.
She's the 5.
Yeah.
Okay.
Continue.
All right.
So she gets
So then
buckets, and they still complain because they wanted the foul.
Right. Wanted the and one, and I was just done with it and whacked him, gave him a T.
But then you threw out the
And then-
assistant coach,
Because the assistant coach off the bench and charged onto the court.
so it's not
Kind
a.
of like
It's not a.
flashback to Chad. Like when Chad got ejected against the Edison, when we played Edison.
Okay.
You know, the assistant coach charged at the official.
Except my ejection started a 15-run inning.
And Chad didn't.
No, you're right.
Chad didn't charge. Chad sprinted
And I didn't
right
try
to
and
the
stop
umpire.
him. I didn't stop him either. I walked out about 45 seconds after.
This ejection caused Clovis High to go up by like 30 points. So,
We didn't say you need to throw any team names out there either, by the way.
oh, my bad. My bad. Anyway.
Some self-awareness, bro.
Are you guys ready for today? Are you guys practicing today?
We're doing a podcast right now, so
This afternoon.
So will you not be?
It's still the dead period. Are you guys cheating?
I'm assuming you're on the list of not doing whichever team that was. You're not doing their games anymore.
I'm assigned to do them on Friday night.
Shame on them. Just get it out there, Droz. You should be doing 6th grade elementary basketball. And is Pappy there too?
He is, but he's brown nosing or doing something right now. He's walking towards me right now.
He's brown nosing.
Got a lot going on.
He went to Disneyland. I saw that.
That guy's got season pass. Has to have season.
He went to Disneyland. He was a little tired when he got back yesterday.
He said he had his hit or die gear, but he didn't wear it. I didn't see.
You didn't wear any of your hit or die gear at Disneyland? Who is it? Who we got? HIT.OR.DIE way. Are my lockers ready, dude?
What? Are you? He's ready to come play the Coyotes. That's for sure.
He doesn't want none.
He doesn't believe.
He doesn't believe what?
It's Andy Underwood, Lappin, Chad Rothford, and Jacob HIT.OR.DIE. Hit or die.
Anyways, all right, Droz.
Yeah.
You there? So you're gonna be reffing those games this week. You said.
The what?
You're gonna be reffing the games this week that you just got the TQ'd everybody up at. Were the fans harping on you?
Oh, actually, I'll be honest with you, it's the best crowd that I've probably ever done.
Well, that's cool. What would your advice be to refs out there and handling that situation?
Not have rabbit ears.
Nobody cares. All right, back to some important stuff. So the supposed punishment, Chad. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Do you want to start this? Or?
I want firing guys and and whatnot. Great. I just want the actual footage and proof.
See, the firing took place by the Astros. That was completely different from the MLB.
Yeah.
Which, is probably to save face more than anything.
But I also think if you're gonna fire the manager, that doesn't stop the play. Trozo text.
Says I hate you.
But if you're going to fire a manager, that's not going to stop players from doing things because they're not getting punished.
Sure.
So even though I don't agree with any of it anyways, if you're going to fire the manager and the GM, I feel like you should suspend every player that was on that roster during that time period 50 games.
Or
he said like a steroid 80 games.
It's 80 games, I think.
I think 80 games is a lot.
I think 50 games is a lot.
50 games is a lot, but I mean, you just fired my manager. What is that going to do to me? Is that going to stop me? Because in the thing that he's going to read, it came from the players and supposedly the coaching staff, but not Hinch. Hinch might have known about it, but he wasn't a part of it, I guess.
So the punishment comes out. Okay, the punishment was Hinch and Lunau suspended for the season, $5 million, first and second round picks for the next 2 years. I mean, I think that was all that was out there.
Yeah.
So is that a slap on the wrist, or is that too harsh, or is that fair?
From MLB.
For me, I don't care what it is.
They should have been punished at all?
Obviously, I'm probably...
They handed out that punishment. So I guess so it is what it is.
I'm in the minority with how I feel, I'm sure.
Yeah. You're with me.
Yeah, I just don't see it as that much of an egregious thing.
To do what they did.
Yeah, it's just like anything else. You're just trying to get an edge. I don't know.
Okay, so let me ask you this.
It wouldn't even
Everybody's
work.
doing it.
It doesn't even work for me. That's the thing.
Do you remember in old school when they have the earpieces at the end and they're taking that test?
Yeah.
If you get caught doing that in college, what happens?
You get, depends. Suspended or
expelled.
Maybe dumped out of school. Do you think that's fair, or is that why is that a problem?
That is fair.
Well, what's the difference?
Because everything you're doing in that moment is like based on that specific.
But if you're using a camera,
it's just not, because it's not even if you know the pitch, it's not like.
Am I crazy?
Yes. No, if you know the pitch, it's easier to hit.
I disagree. For me, that's why I don't really care that much.
Well, you weren't a very good hitter, so
exactly.
It doesn't really matter. So.
But I freaking hit taters off you all day, didn't I?
No.
Tater salad.
Okay, so you're just...
I just don't. I'm the wrong person to talk to for all this because I just don't see it as a huge issue. Because it's not to me a huge issue. Because I can't hit well if I know what the pitch is coming. I'm a reactive hitter. Probably why I wasn't that good of a hitter, but that's how I function. So if somebody yells something at me, like, cool, it's probably gonna be a fastball, all right. But still, I don't even really want to hear it. I remember situations back when we had signs picked, and I wouldn't want to hear the pitches.
Okay.
It's just me.
I agree.
You agree?
No, I would love to know what's coming. No, I would love to know what's coming. But
what do you think of the punishment?
I already told you. First of all, $5 million in 2 draft picks, like we were talking about, does that money now get divvied out? Did they take the money away from those draft picks? Or does that money just get divvied out now across the rest of the draft?
Well, yeah, because you're saving money now on not paying those slots.
Yeah, so I don't know. I don't know what the MLB... I still think that everybody involved should be suspended, even if you're on a different team now, I think. If you were part of that... So, Mike Fears, guess what? You came out and ratted everybody out. You're suspended 50 games with no pay. Just because you were a part of... I think that's fair that way. So, and you said there's 23 guys that have came forward. And like we were talking about, we don't know who they are. They could be the dudes.
I haven't finished even reading the whole report. The report's out there. You can go read it. It's up.
That's another reason that I just can't really get too involved in this, because it's like, how are you supposed to equally punish, and what is fair? Like, there's no precedent for this. And
yeah, but you're even more on the fence or off the fence than he is. He's let it be.
Yeah, he just doesn't care.
I don't. I really don't.
You're like, now that it's come out, let's just be the GM and Hinch.
Let's get farther in. Let me see video of somebody looking at the thing. Let me see somebody banging a trash can.
I want him to go.
I think did they say Farquhar?
Yeah, Farquhar noticed something, heard something, and he came off the mound and kind of like looked at the dugout.
Well, it's in that John Boy video.
But then again, it's
calls
like...
timeout. They go change the pitch. They go no sign.
Did they do this for 10 games? Did they do it for 20? Did they do it for 162? Did they do it in the playoffs?
Right.
Nobody freaking knows how many games.
Exactly. That's the other. It's too dicey.
Well, we'll get into that too, because there's talk about stripping the title, and we'll get into that part of it. But
well, yeah, we should get the World Series now. We as the Dodgers.
We will get into that. Do you have a thought either way on the punishment?
Yeah, I do. I think MLB baseball, in their opinion, did what they thought was a step in the right direction for them.
Hey, let him talk. Let him talk.
Okay. I'm okay with it. I'm okay with them suspending both those guys for a full season. And then the Astros, as far as like what they did, I think they had to do that. They couldn't bring those guys back after they're suspended for the full season for that.
They had to save face.
Yeah, exactly. And then like you guys are talking about like how we don't know everything yet. No, we don't know all the details. We don't know exactly what they did every game. If it was, they banged on a trash can for a couple games, and then there was rumors that they changed it up from that to some other stuff. Then there was like an iWatch used when Alex Cora was around, right?
I don't know.
Like it was some 17. There's an iWatch that was being used with text messages. But as far as like the players getting in trouble, I think they got to point the finger at somebody, and it's usually the head coach. When somebody gets fired, it's the head coach. Well, it's your dugout, it's your clubhouse, you're responsible for it. But it's hard to, what is the punishment for everybody? And is it the same thing as steroids? Should they get 50 games, 80 games, whatever? I don't know. 50 games is a lot, Well,
does that shut it down, though, for other teams maybe doing something like this? Because some of this has to be going around. It's not just because players play for other teams, so there's got to be something going around everywhere. Oh,
I think it's probably rampant inside of Major League Baseball as far as cheating and getting edges, and everybody's trying to do it. It's just they got caught.
I saw some report today that also implicated the Dodgers and
we would never do something like that.
I don't know if it was the Yankees, but it was the Dodgers, the Red Sox, the Astros, and somebody else. All kind of implicated in the same manner as the Astros are. So interesting to see how it goes from here.
It's crazy with Alex Cora being tied to 2017
And then they win
and
18.
then they win with Boston in 18 with apparently the same system of cheating.
What if they're just like, you're banned from baseball, Alex Cora?
I mean, I don't think he was a Hall of Famer anyways.
He still retires a rich man.
2 rings.
10 plus years in the bigs, still has a pension.
But like,
would that pension be
I don't know.
They'd probably.
That's a good question.
I think he would lose the pension.
Well, maybe Pete Rose has probably lost it since he's.
So yesterday, the owner of the Astros came out and just said we did one step further. They dismissed Hinch and Lunau. And Jeff Lunau came out and
So is the GM that got fired.
the GM, and he basically, his statement was, I mean, you guys want me to read the whole thing or just
read what we were talking
Paraphrase
about.
So he just basically said he accepted the responsibility of the rules violations, but went on to say that he's not a cheater. Anybody who's worked closely with me during my 32 years inside and outside of baseball can attest to my integrity. I did not know rules were being broken.
So he's saying he didn't know.
And as the commissioner set out in his statement, I did not personally direct, oversee, or engage in any misconduct. The sign stealing initiative was not planned or directed by baseball management. The trash can banging was driven and executed by players, and the video decoding of signs originated and was executed by lower level employees working with the bench coach.
So he's pretty much saying he didn't know, but now he's saying he knows
So
all that.
he said,
like
I didn't know any
himself.
rules were being broken, and followed it by saying the rules that they're accused of, or the trash can banging and sign stealing, weren't him. They were the coaches and players.
So he's like saying he knew who did it, but he didn't know.
that
That could have just been like after the report came out.
This was yesterday, or today, I think.
Right.
yeah,
So
This came out.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is I did not know rules were being broken.
except for the trash
yeah,
can.
but maybe he
and the
didn't know
sign
that was
stealing.
happening.
Then
is
how
what
do
I'm
you
saying.
know it was the players executing the rules
Because
violations?
he's read the report since all the interviews.
You're saying he found out afterwards
Right.
that the players.
He might have more information than everybody.
I don't know.
I don't know.
It's obviously not a very tightly ran ship. Then if you're that guy and you don't know what's going on with your team,
Or
and in the report it says that they interviewed 23 former and current players.
That testified.
So you're not gonna get what you want. You're not gonna get
No.
the
because
video of the trash.
Let's just say,
Those guys would have. They talked.
your top
probably
dog,
to protect
your top
themselves.
dogs, they probably said, "Look, if
Sure.
you tell us the truth, we'll give you immunity or whatever." You know. So
Yeah, that's protect
you
themselves.
might have the 3 dudes come and say, "Yeah, this happened," blah blah blah. But now what looks bad is, okay, you're firing the manager. Okay, that's it. I'm still gonna make all this money with these great players playing this season. That's what they're worried about. That's why they don't want to punish the players, because do you want your AAA team playing in Houston this year?
Yeah.
Who's gonna come watch
No.
that?
who?
You're gonna lose
ultimately,
money.
is it bad for baseball if Alex Bregman and all those guys aren't playing?
Yeah, it's bad for baseball.
I think it's bad.
Yeah.
People want to see them play.
I agree,
They don't
but
care if the
but
manager's
Houston's
there.
losing money. They
Well,
don't
you're
want
not
to lose
like
money.
and like Chad said earlier, you're not selling AJ Hinch jerseys.
No.
You're not selling manager jerseys.
No.
So Cain, the owner of the Astros, flat out said no players will be suspended from this, which just tells me that players came out during this report and said, yeah, this is what happened. And in order to get that confession, there was something in it for them.
Yeah.
And that's not being suspended.
Had to be.
I mean, that's the only way.
Which I'm sure the GMs are like, oh yeah,
Because I was telling
I'm gonna
Chad,
lose millions and millions of dollars if I suspend you for 50
and you're not
games.
just talking about like being suspended for 50 games without pay. You're talking about Adidas. Do I
Yeah.
want to be in contract with a guy that's a cheater? You know, Bregman's an Adidas guy.
Crazy
And I'm not
Adidas.
saying he is.
No, yeah.
I'm just saying, for example,
No.
Yeah.
Adidas is going to be like, well, I don't want to be branded with that.
Yeah. But also we talked about is, even though this is coming out with Houston and, you know, we probably think that it's going on throughout the league, they're a pretty good damn ball club.
Yeah.
Anyways. I mean, 1 through 9, they're stacked. So it's like, how much did this help them win a World Series?
That's another reason I don't care that
You
much,
know?
because they were legit anyways.
Yeah.
It wasn't like
So
it wasn't the Marlins just coming out of nowhere like
They just made a run out of yeah. And I understand that. But I think with Cora, too, it's really interesting because that looks really bad.
Now they win it the next year.
Hey, what are the odds?
Well, and he even, Lou now even says the bench coach. Well, that was Cora.
If Cora gets suspended for years or whatever, worse, what are the odds that Trump sends out some kind of tweet talking bad about him? Because Cora didn't go to the White House, and he made a big old deal of it. And was it 2018, right? When he was
I don't remember.
The manager?
Yeah.
Oh, he didn't go?
No. He made a big deal about not going, too. And now this.
It looks bad.
It's probably Trump's fault anyways.
I don't know. I don't know what you do. You got to let him go? I mean, I kind of think you do.
Yeah.
But also we heard, we talked about, Eddie Romero posted it with the Flannery thing. Are the writers, the people that don't know shit about baseball, are they having so much of an effect on what's going on nowadays? Like too much?
I mean,
they're just wanting to get a story and make money. I understand that everybody wants to make money, but you're tarnishing something that this has been going on, stealing signs and trying to get an advantage for years and years. Flannery said he had a freaking video camera on every third base coach in his 16 years in the big leagues.
And they had him on him.
I mean, there's a video camera on somebody so it's almost the same exact thing that's going on right now.
And he was talking about throwing in fake signs,
right,
to throw them off. Right?
Yeah, which is totally. I mean, that's psychological warfare at its finest, and I love everything about that and stuff like this.
You're the worst at it, though.
Yeah,
you've lost in every psychological warfare game with me your entire life.
What about GPA? Did I win that one?
It has nothing to do with me and you battling it out.
Okay.
I just think I don't know, man. That's cheating. You're using a camera. It's like it goes back to the test. It's cheating.
So what does Major League Baseball do about this moving forward? Are they going to treat this as if it's similar to steroids?
I think you have to.
And who do you suspend? Who's going to...
Well, if you're not going to suspend any players, then you can't from here on out.
And what did the MLB even do about steroids? They basically just said, thank you very much. We're going to take our money now and
so you get, 80 games? People. 80 games a season banned, right?
Yeah.
No, steroids, it's one, and then you're done.
No,
it's one. No, the second time you're done.
Yeah, no.
No, it's just
3? 3?
Yeah,
it's like 80, 162.
Put up
juice it up. Go juice.
Put up an all-star year. Get your money.
It's not that far-fetched to do that,
right?
Honestly, if you really want to go out on a limb and
go get paid,
I'm gonna be a free agent next year. Put it, stick me with that needle. Let me put up 40 and 120.
What?
We had this conversation last week.
About what?
You had
everybody go, man. Let's juice. Everybody. Let's roll. When Henry's about 16, I'm going to start loading them up. Let's go, baby. 101 miles an hour or bust.
See, and it's not even sneaky what the major leagues are doing now with the balls.
No,
I mean,
they're juiced.
I'll show you a video in a little bit.
Oh, yeah. We had, Pete Rose had a ball all taken together. It's on a video we have. We'll show it. And the ball, the core, his son dropped it and it bounced like 5 feet.
He just it was like a rubber
ball in the middle.
Yeah.
And it was that big.
And that's why the minor leagues had like 3,000 more home runs this past year. Or the AAA, sorry.
Yeah.
AAA had like 3,000 more home runs than they
I think 2 months into the season, they broke the record by like 400.
It was before the break. I know that.
Yeah, it was ridiculous.
It's ridiculous.
And for me, that should like take away every home run record that there is. Like all these home runs that these guys are hitting should not mean as much as all the home runs the guys before them hit. I mean, if that's what they say about steroids and asterisks by Barry Bonds' name, why is it any different?
Because he's alleged.
Well, Barry Bonds wasn't using this ball. How many? He might have hit 90.
Right. That's what I'm saying. It's like, how can you just? I don't know. I don't like
Barry Bonds didn't need a ball.
No,
he was juicing.
Yeah,
he
was. But he could rake.
Yeah, I know that.
He could hit.
But it made him that much better.
But I'm saying...
but he's saying the ball's different now.
Essentially
Instead
now...
of juicing
there's guys
person,
hitting 50 home runs that
right.
shouldn't be hitting 50 home runs.
Essentially now, guys are doing steroids without doing steroids, and their numbers are showing.
Right.
Yes.
But that's all planned out by Major League Baseball to keep the numbers up.
And it's wrong.
It is wrong. It's stupid. It's not what...
They should make the ball weigh like 5 pounds.
I actually like this
Babe
topic
Ruth
better than the
hit
Astros
like
topic.
8,000 home runs in his career.
Yeah.
And
was he facing Verlander?
No, absolutely
Cole?
not. He wouldn't even be he wouldn't even get to see. He wouldn't even play D1 baseball nowadays. Let's be real.
Who?
Babe
Babe
Ruth.
Ruth.
Oh yeah, probably not.
I'd strike that guy out. Guy's eating hot dogs and smoking cigarettes in between innings. Boy couldn't touch me.
That's why we talked about, when you talk about players, the best player to ever play the game, you should have eras.
Yeah.
You should never, like Babe Ruth, Trout, they should never be put together. It should be Babe Ruth is this era.
What's an era though? Like
But if
how
we're
long?
being honest, Trout smokes Babe Ruth.
Yes, no, I agree. But then you get the old people that they want to say, well, he didn't play and, Trout didn't play. Whatever.
How many people are actually going to rep Babe Ruth nowadays, though? Like, how
Is
many
Trout going to hit 715 home runs?
I mean, he's on pace for something close to
If
six
Mike
something.
Trout played in the frickin' 20s and 30s, he'd have hit 2,000 home runs.
But would he have been the way he is because they didn't lift? Trust me, I'm not on either side because I still think those guys couldn't
I've
hit
heard
anything.
another argument about Ty Cobb in 10 years of 400 plus.
Average.
It's like, well, what were those? I don't know. They weren't radar guns. Were those guys did they throw anything other than fastballs?
Freaking Spitball McGee's out there throwing the old Bugs Bunny at.
You had guys throwing like 500 innings.
That's why they threw
They used
every
to only,
inning of every game.
Yeah, they used to only have 3 starters
Yeah.
in a rotation. So,
Or 3 total pitchers. So you threw 9.
yeah, it was like CGs were nothing back then. And for that reason, how could they have thrown that hard?
Well, we weren't there either, so we can't say otherwise.
Do we need to be there?
I think so. I think it's if you want people to
I mean,
buy
come on.
into
When
you saying, "Hey,"
when
like,
you see some guy winding up like this, like he's throwing a freaking, he's throwing a grenade to home plate. Come on, bro.
And Babe Ruth's using a 40-ounce bat. 40 ounces is really heavy.
Dude, if anybody threw Babe Ruth a changeup, dude, he'd be spinning out, dude. Come on.
I'm talking
That
about like
seems
when
whack.
because I think we've had the conversation many times where when we played it was different. I think there was more dudes, in my opinion, when we played
in our era.
right. But
Like in high
who's to
school
say?
Yeah.
Yeah, then versus today.
And what?
When we played in high school, there was more dudes.
I don't know.
than
My
now.
reality's so warped when I was in high school.
See, that's the thing
I
I
don't
struggle
know.
with too. I know what I feel from when I was there and like my perception of it, but I don't know if it was the real the real thing.
Because how much, like when you started coaching, like how much did things change when you're on the other side of the ball? When you're actually like how much different is the game, and how do you like?
The game's not different.
But coaching, like how much different is it coaching versus playing?
Way different.
Like when you figured things out, like oh that's what that meant, or
Yeah.
like that's what I'm saying. Like when I was in high school, I thought I was probably the best player to ever touch earth.
You probably
Yeah.
did.
I thought I did. Let's put it that way.
But you were like
I don't.
not you know what I mean. You were whatever. You were the
a
best
guy.
pitcher or one of the best pitchers in our.
Okay, so I've been coaching
Valley.
a long time. All right, high school level. There's been very few pitchers that I've seen in 19 years that threw like you. I can count them on one hand.
I don't know.
And I faced you, and I faced everybody else.
And I'm not saying there's not good players
this area.
today. There's a bunch of good players around this valley. Every year
dude,
there's good players.
But dude, you guys had Gary. Well, who else was
Pasma.
There's
And
3 dudes. What does that do nowadays? If you had those 3
We had
dudes,
4 minor leaguers on our team.
I know.
4 guys drafted off of that team.
Yeah, it's
I know.
pretty good.
Lappin in center.
Yeah.
Yeah, that does.
That can, he could even bring a ball back by pushing the fence 5 feet, and then the ball hitting it. And then you had Central had Romero and Mindrin that threw 90.
Ball drafted.
Even that Lewis guy was pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean, he was,
Matt Lewis.
Matt Lewis
Matt
was
Lewis,
good.
Yeah.
Miller.
Well, they had Bushy too, like a year before that.
Yeah,
Bushy,
that's
yeah.
what I'm saying. And Fresno had Opie and Adam Moreno. Like
And-
they just threw 90, 88 to 90.
Schilling.
Clovis
We had
High.
Cardoza Tucker that threw hard.
Clovis High had that Nate guy and obviously Brandon Miller.
Brandon Miller that's had a .83 ERA.
Jordan was good too.
Buchanan had
Yeah.
Raleigh Gibson, Garrett Olson. And then they had Justin
Well, they
Miller.
had Wilson too.
Toby Garagian,
I know. So
Dominic
I mean,
Foster.
Jason Donald.
Edison had Richardson.
Billy Richardson.
Clifton
they had
Smith.
Matt
Yeah,
Lavelle was
Clifton
okay.
Smith, yeah.
Matt,
Jared Thompson the next year.
What's his name? Matt
For which team?
Edison, white guy, outfielder, super fast. Played with the city.
Nat Lavelle.
Nat Lavelle.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. They had Ryan Braun. Also, I mean, there's been tons of
I
talent.
know. and kids today obviously don't know any of those names, and that's fine. My point is who's to say if we go talk with Noakes and he says, well, that '89 team, and he goes back 10 even years before us.
That's really the only way you can.
And that's why we're saying eras, because that in '80 they were. Who am I to say that they weren't better than we were?
Yeah,
I know the talent here when we were in school was legit, but maybe it was even more so 10 years prior. So maybe it is fair to break it up into eras. You can't call Babe Ruth the best player ever. I don't think you can.
No, I mean I'd go with Ted Williams way before I went with Babe Ruth.
Just an example. That's all.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying. And that's what Chad was. You hear people say those things just with ease. I'm like, maybe you got to stop and think about what you're saying.
Yeah, I mean eras is probably the way to go, but everybody wants it to be neater and nicer, and the best ever is easier to do than that. I mean, but if you were really breaking it down like we are in a podcast, we could definitely do an eras deal.
We will have to break that down. We can break that down.
Let's break it down, dude.
I think that's what
That's
what we're here for.
Let's put some lists together, but not now.
Yeah, I don't have all the players. We'd have to separate that out. So back with finishing up and moving on from the Astros, you go and see now. Mainly, I've seen is Dodger fans.
Well, because they lost the World Series, so they're the ones
that think it should be vacated. And I know my buddies that are Dodger fans that listen to this. I don't text me. I'm sorry.
Text me.
That'd be fun.
559. Big Papa Pump.
Mike Jones.
But I'm hearing this word a lot. Okay, and I may have been guilty of it in the past. I don't ever have a team. I mean, if I follow a team, it's the Braves, so we're clear. But I'm hearing this word "we"
As you wear a Yankees sweatshirt.
I know. It was a gift. We.
Us.
Can I go first? On
Yes.
this?
Yes.
Yes,
So,
'cause I know
and
where
if
he
you want
stands.
to maybe explain what I mean by "we,"
Yeah, so perfect example is somebody like Anthony Pedrozo, who literally feels like he is part of the Giants organization. He gets he gets a check every 2 weeks in the mail, and he's making a living at this. Sitting on the couch and talking Giants baseball.
And for all you people out there, Andy has always hated the Giants, so that's where a lot of this animosity is coming from.
Sure, because all my friends were Giants fans, and when they said it's the dumbest thing in the world because you don't get paid. So here's my thought process on this, okay? It goes in levels. So obviously, when you're a kid in Little League, okay, and you like a team, you're going to say we because you're in Little League and you want to feel like you're part of that team. You're growing up. It's our national pastime. Okay, so Little Leaguers, they're going to say we because they're part of that team. They probably play for the Dodgers on Saturday morning, And then you get into high school, and there's a few guys who are kind of like, yeah, we and this. So there's just levels to it. So if you're a guy who plays in high school, and then you go and play in college baseball, you're less likely to say we and us because you're moving up the ladder a little bit. And once you get drafted and you play minor league baseball or professional baseball, and you figure out it's a business, and they don't care about you, you no longer say we. You no longer say our team. Because you don't care, and that's the way it should be. And so I just think there's levels to it down the line. So if you're a 40-year-old man
That
out
never
there
played
that
after
never
high
really
school.
played, and you're still saying we like you're part of the team, you're nuts.
Well, another thing is I've told people that I work with, do the players even know who you are?
No,
of course they
don't.
You
They
want
don't.
to hear a funny story? You don't.
Yes.
You guys don't know this person, but Andy, I think you know John Birch, right, from Philadelphia. Maybe you don't.
Yeah, I've met him once.
Yeah. Anyways, I was with him not too long ago, and I was like, "Hey, are you gonna watch the Eagles play so and so?" Because he's from Philadelphia, and he's like, "Watch the Eagles? Why would I do that? Do they come watch me at my work?" I was like, "No, I guess not."
That's awesome. That's true.
Yeah, it is.
Well, then you hear them, they need to fire our coach. They're booing, you go to New York and you hear them booing, Stanton in October or whatever. And it's like, I don't get to replace you.
Couch.
You want me to be traded? I'll get to trade you.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're booing from the couch. You couldn't even get up there and hit a BP fastball, bro.
Yeah.
Let's say we.
We gotta talk about.
Do you guys have a story though? Like, because you have one like in the moment with certain maybe big leaguers at camp or throughout the. Because your story with Greg Maddux is pretty fun, and then you declined. I'll let you get into it.
So with the Padres, it was really cool because we shared the same cafeteria, I guess you would call it, our eating hall, and our spring training was awesome because the big leaguers actually paid for all the food we got. So we'd go through. I mean, they had chefs back there, like anything you wanted, from burritos to cereal to whatever.
We had none of that, by the way.
Oh, it was. I mean, it was breakfast and lunch, like the best food you could ever want. So we get to spring. We're in spring training. We get there early. You know, we rolling up. It's probably 6:30 or 7. You know, still kind of sleepy. I go into my locker, put my shorts on. I got my socks, my spring training shirt on. Walking in, I'm like half asleep, going down the line. And this guy next to me to my right's like, "Hey, I can't finish this burrito. Anybody?" I'm making that accent up, but anybody want to share this burrito with me? And I looked over and I was like, "Oh my!" Greg Maddux, he's standing, we're shoulder to shoulder, and Greg Maddux is looking at me. "You want to share this burrito with me?" And I froze up. I had that star moment where I was like,
those are two things you love, Maddux and burritos, and you froze up?
I froze up in clutch time, and Maddux just stared at me with a burrito, and I'm like...
And then you went and watched his bullpen, right?
So then I'm like, no. Wow. So he's like, all right, and then puts it... I could have shared a burrito with Greg Maddux, but I didn't do it. I was scared.
And you watched his bullpen, too.
Yeah, so his bullpen was awesome, too. He was... So they tell the guys... all the minor leaguers, "Hey, Maddux is throwing a bullpen today during your lunch. You guys should all go out and watch." So cool. There's probably 40 of us out there just sitting Indian style, like we're in kindergarten watching, you know, like some of the cool guys coming in to talk to us, and we're all just starstruck. Well, he walks out of the clubhouse, the golf cart picks him up. The golf cart takes him about 40 yards to the bullpen, drops him off, and it's like he just threw a cigarette out, which he didn't. And then he hops up on the mound. He throws like his 40, 50 pitches. It probably was like 20, really. Never missed a spot. And then you walked up to the dirt where he was throwing, and there was only like 9 cleat marks in the ground on his landing spot. He landed, like every cleat mark landed in the same cleat hole.
Every time. The
entire bullpen. There was one footprint, a land and a push off. There was no like scattered marks. It was unbelievable. I was like, is this guy really that good?
Yeah, he's probably the most repeatable.
Repeated everything.
He's got those legends like Bo Jackson, you know? And then you look at his numbers too, it's just ridiculous.
Yeah. Yeah, I watched him throw in a minor league game. And again, it was like, "Hey, Maddux is throwing over here, come watch." And he's facing like a AAA lineup. He goes 3 innings and strikes out 8. I don't think he threw a ball over 78. It was unbelievable. It was like guys were swinging at an invisible ball that was coming in at 78. It was stupid.
See, that's why you can combine eras right there. Because Maddux is going to dominate no matter what era he's in. And you cannot tell me that Babe Ruth is shredding fools like that. As a pitcher, at least, and I don't think. I mean, that he was just gifted.
Greg Maddux might be the exception to the rule.
Maybe
he's that Mike Trout type of. I mean, on the mound, anyways.
Maybe.
I mean, how long he played and just figured it out on he just kept adjusting to his body and what he could do.
Right.
And he was filthy all the way through.
Who? If you ever think of like all-time best pitchers, he doesn't get brought up very often.
I think he does.
I don't.
You might be right.
I mean, he's one of...
I grew up liking the Braves, so like him and Steve Avery.
One of how many guys
Smoltz
with 300 wins?
Tommy Glavine, those guys, I mean, that was just ridiculous.
300 wins is not special pre-2010.
Yeah, it is.
No, it's not. 3,000 is...
How many guys have ever done it?
That's because nobody will ever do it again.
Right, and it's because of the way pitchers are now.
But how many guys have 300 wins right now in their career?
I don't know.
It's like 23.
No, it's more than that.
I don't think so.
There was like 6 or 7 during our lifetime. I'm pretty sure.
I know.
There's way
I don't
more
think
than
there's that many.
You want to hear something crazy about Greg Maddux? I don't know the exact number, but I remember seeing a stat somewhere where he only got to
a 3-0 count.
3-2.
Like he only hit a 3-ball count like 300 times in his whole career.
Yeah, one season it was only like 11 times or something like that.
Yeah, that's insane.
Yeah, it's stupid. You know what else was another like whoa moment was when I was spring training again, and pitchers were running foul poles on one of the fields, and we didn't realize anybody was even on the infield, and then a ball almost hit like the group of guys running. We all turned, and Randy Johnson's out there throwing like a live session, and I was just like, holy dude, I just watched this guy throw a perfect game. Like,
who was he with? The Diamondbacks?
Yeah, and the team was at our facility, and he was just on that field for whatever reason, throwing aside against live hitters.
So Schilling was probably around too. I think
possibly. It was like his last year of playing.
They won in 2002. Oh no, then he was with the Giants.
So he was 07. That would have been 07 spring training.
Oh yeah, it was the
spring
Giants.
Training. Yeah, it was the Giants then. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was another like, dude, he was a legend.
He was.
So there is not many.
How many?
You said what?
Oh, I just said I didn't know.
You said 155.
I said like 23.
I said I didn't think it was 23. I thought it was more than that.
No.
How many is there?
It's
15.
It's 24, unless this one's the only one that's not highlighted is Roger Clemens.
So 24.
Asterisks?
I don't know.
So 25 then.
So 23, 24 if you're counting Clemens.
Well, does he have
He's
300
on-
wins?
He's 354.
Then you count Clemens.
Why wouldn't they count him?
I don't know.
Because he's not in the Hall of Fame?
Steroids?
I don't know who the heck
Yeah, I don't
Tim
know.
Keefe is.
24. Nice guess. 23.
Yeah. No, but
Who's
it's,
closest
It's
to
pretty rare, like territory.
Kershaw.
not CC?
Oh, yeah. CC has like 200 and something.
Yeah,
He's
but
at
he
like-
retired.
I want to
yeah.
say like 284.
Yeah,
The-
he was
the-
pretty
285,
close.
something like that. He was a season or two.
The last pitcher to get there was Randy Johnson.
That's what I would have said. That's the last one I
Yeah.
remember.
I think
And
they said with Kershaw and how many innings he's started with and how young he was, he had like the best shot.
I would say Maddux doesn't get like the glory, like the fame, because he didn't strike out a lot of guys.
But I don't know about
He
that.
won 355 games.
He's a beast. He's a
I think
baller.
he struck out plenty of dudes.
Not like Johnson or Clemens or Sandy Koufax.
He struck out 8 and 3 in that minor league game.
He sure did.
Yeah, but they probably haven't seen movement like that before.
Yeah, he's 8th all time in wins.
What about strikeouts?
I don't know. Jesus. Sorry.
Hey. And how many of us actually care about wins and losses then or now?
I do. That's the only stat I care about.
Why? You have no control over
He's
a
a
lot
pitcher.
of it.
No, are you a competitor? Or are you a winner or
Yeah,
a loser?
but even you could be a competitor. You can be the best pitcher of all time. But if your team doesn't hit anything for you, then you're
Like
not going
DeGrom?
to win.
Like DeGrom?
Yeah,
No, winners.
like Matt Cain. He's probably one of the worst tough luck losers.
Matt Cain sucked.
No, we didn't.
Yeah, he did.
No, we didn't.
Yeah, he did.
I mean, he threw a perfect game in the bigs.
Yeah, so did freaking the lefty for the A's.
Who?
Dallas Braden.
He's awful.
You can't give him the names, Chad. I
Oh.
want to hear him stumble for him.
Mr. 209.
Yeah, come on. Anybody can have that luck in a game.
I mean, I can't really call it luck.
I can't really say he's one of the best to pitch either.
Who?
Dallas
Who
Braden.
said he was one of the best to pitch?
I mean, he was pretty good. I thought he was good.
All I said was that
Did he
Matt
make-
Cain was one of the worst tough luck losers that I can remember. I didn't say anything about him being one of the best.
I said he was terrible, and you said, no, he's freaking awesome.
No,
Well, you
I
don't
didn't
get
say
to the
he's
big
awesome.
leagues and be terrible.
I know one guy.
Do you mind?
No.
I already know, but I was.
We all know.
We all
I was
know.
hoping you'd give it up.
We
but I
all
guess
know.
not.
We all know.
If you know Andy, you know.
Yeah, and if you don't know it, and you're listening, too bad.
Too bad.
Dros, keep your mouth shut, by the way. Yeah, I don't think you're terrible, and you can't be terrible and get to the big leagues.
No, you can't be terrible.
Bro,
I
in the big
agree.
league.
I was
agree with
terrible
you.
and got to the minor leagues.
I mean,
Terrible and got to Fresno
you
State.
can't be terrible and have a 10-year career. I don't know.
It was more than 10. It was like 13.
Hey,
let's
10 on the dot.
Let's just
Matt Cain?
No.
Oh, yeah. He's talking about somebody else.
Oh. Yeah.
But I
He
think
made sure
you're
it's 10
right.
on the dot.
Yeah, he
I
made
think
sure he
I
got
might
big
too.
league
Yeah,
tension.
I agree with you.
Rubbed it in our face.
I'm trying to figure, Chad, why don't you agree?
I see players out there that are like, you fucking kidding me? This guy's in the big leagues?
No, we're not talking about that. We're talking about tough luck losers.
Talking about Matt Cain specifically.
Oh, then we're talking about, me and Andy are talking about different
Yes,
things.
but I heard that you said you also agree with him on the Matt Cain.
No. I agree
evaluation.
with him that there are people that should not be in the big leagues that made it to big leagues.
Yeah, I mean, I think we
I
can
mean,
all
Matt
agree
Cain
with
was good.
Thank you.
He was good.
That's quite far from terrible, sir.
Yeah, I know. I was just arguing with you.
He's entertaining.
I was entertaining the
Yeah,
crowd.
no, I think Matt Cain was a good pitcher.
He was good.
I wasn't
What
very-
ended his career? His bone spurs in his elbow?
I wasn't very entertained.
Well,
No.
I think he had a career run like 5 point something.
Yeah, he just kind of
No, I think he kept getting.
I think he went on his own terms, though.
just got older and older, and I don't think he
Yeah,
wanted
no,
to
he
play.
went on his own terms. I'm just talking about with his runs for or something. He
But
had
like
to-
Barry Zito.
He needed like 5 or something runs. And I don't know.
What about Barry Zito? Even though he won, Cy Young.
As far as what about him?
Well, I mean,
what are we
he-
talking about? Bad
He
luck?
was in Oakland for a long time.
But what are we talking about?
Yeah,
specifically?
yes,
The
that.
bad luck.
Yeah.
Oh no, I
Maybe
don't-
not bad luck, but
I think he just ran out of juice.
or lack of offense.
Well, that I'm trying to bring up the bad luck scenario because I'm trying to prove a point that wins and losses are not the end all be all of pitching stats.
What, bad luck? How? Okay, wait a second. Matt Cain, like, what
Like
do you mean?
go and you pitch 6
Just because you
innings.
lose doesn't mean you're bad.
Yeah, you go and pitch 6 innings and you give up maybe 2 runs.
Right,
with
but your
7.
offense doesn't produce anything
That's
for you.
right.
I
To
mean,
me,
I don't.
that's
Are
like
you
the
a bad
minor
pitcher
league.
because you didn't get a win?
You don't think Barry Zito falls in that category a
No,
little bit?
no, not nearly like Matt Cain. I mean,
That's because he's a Giants fan and he's just pulling for him, dude. That's stupid.
yeah, I'm pulling for Matt Cain to be.
Are you a
awesome
Giants fan?
in retirement?
You are. You're a wee guy. You used to have Barry Bonds on your freaking wall at home. Your little measuring tape.
You don't
had
like Barry Bonds?
No.
Why?
Would you have struck him out?
Because he
Would he
likes
be in your lineup?
Yes.
I don't know. There's who else? That's a
He's one of the biggest tough luck losers that I can think of. It was during his most like when he was at
Like
his
prime-
best pitching
prime?
self. Yeah, is when he was not getting wins.
I just
It was
don't think he
before-
pitched good enough. He wasn't a winner.
It was before
He
Bumgarner.
wasn't good enough.
It was
He didn't keep his team in the game.
Matt Cain.
Yeah, he should have given up zeros.
So stupid.
how do you give up zeros? Put up zero. Nah, never mind.
I get what you're saying, Jake. He misspoke. He needs to know.
He
it.
doesn't.
You don't give up zeros.
He doesn't get anything.
You put up
actually.
zeros.
I know what he was saying. He just
He should have given up zeros and not ones and twos.
Or
Or
he could have had a much better lineup behind him and got those dubs. But my point still stands.
But he was on. I mean, he was on the World Series teams, right? And well, then
yeah.
10 and 12.
Yeah. That was like when he was tailing off.
But I'm just saying,
I think
like,
wins and losses is the most important
if
stat.
that's-
ERA is number 2, and I think strikeouts play in there as well.
Disagree. 100%.
Hold on a second, because that's another argument. But if he was on those teams, they weren't bad.
I didn't say they were bad.
They won the World Series.
You guys you're not paying attention to the words I use.
I haven't said anything.
Tough luck loser.
Yeah, nobody
That's
has
what
that.
he was.
That's not a category for anybody except you.
It's a category
For
when you
you.
want
People
to
talk about it.
evaluate.
No, people talk about it.
It's a category when you want to evaluate how important wins and losses are. It's very simple.
Like catchers not having errors. They should have errors.
Oh, catchers should have errors. That needs to be a stat.
On what?
Pass balls.
Oh yeah. I mean, I don't know
What
because
do you mean? Block the damn ball.
they have to see 100 and something pitches, so it's kind of,
Oh well.
well, there you go then.
How many? I mean, there's not a lot of pass balls in the big leagues.
No.
Guys block them.
No.
So it should be a stat.
I agree.
I wouldn't care that.
If
With a
a
runner on
pitcher
base.
gets dinged for a wild pitch, a catcher should get dinged for a pass ball.
I wouldn't care that much if they made that a new.
Well, I mean, when you evaluate a catcher at the end of the year and their fielding percentage is like 9 something, but he's got like 12 pass balls that don't go against him. I mean, even you can't even give it on a called third strike. You can't even give that an error,
and
and it should be.
Absolutely.
I've tried. Trust me.
so the only time a catcher,
No, that's an error.
Yeah.
the only time a catcher gets an error is catcher's interference or
Or
throwing the bases, and,
Yeah.
or dropping a
Or
pop.
But they
Dropping
do
a pop
have
up.
fielding percentage, which is
Yeah. I don't know.
Now, do they?
Well, it's also like a first baseman with like His putouts.
What about
man.
first basemen?
They get a lot of credit for those putouts.
As an outfielder, it's
Yeah,
funny.
because everybody's just hitting us in the chest every time.
Yeah.
Every throw. I should just close my eyes, put my glove out there.
You're just catching the ball.
Just catching the ball. Wow. Fucking
And
Andy.
you got a bigger glove, bro. And they got a bigger glove at first.
And a bigger glove.
How many times did I give you one of those and save our guys' asses? And you're like, yeah.
I can't deny the importance of a good defensive first baseman.
Or defensive.
We've had it
It's-
here.
Honestly, it's probably like, I think pitching, in my opinion, is most important. I think catching second, shortstop's probably third, and I think first baseman fits in right behind the shortstop, honestly, defensively.
I mean, they probably handled the ball in that order the most.
If you don't have a guy who can pick a ball or come off a bag and make a play, like, you're screwed. Because in high school, you have so many bad throws across the diamond.
Yeah.
If you don't have a guy who can pick, you're screwed.
Are you
I agree to that.
are you carrying that same weight to the major leagues, or does it change once you get there? Is first base as important as they are in high school?
I think the big leagues don't make it an important position, which kind of frustrates me. Like, they just think, oh, we could put anybody there. And I think that's what's going down to all the levels now, is they're like, oh, we'll just throw whoever at first base. Well,
What are you saying, though? Are you saying that it's less, it's less valuable in the bigs?
It was more just a question. I'm not sure how I feel.
I think the importance of it gets less valuable, not because of the first baseman, but because of the talent on the infield, because there's more throws being made. But at the same time, an infielder wants a guy who you can, pick a ball on the run and skip a one hopper to him. Yeah. You got to have that trust to do that as well. But I think as far as like the talent level gets so much better, the throws are usually better. In high school, there's just so many bad throws. And he's the guy who has to catch the ball and make the play.
yeah.
I would agree. At this level, yeah.
Definitely.
We got a little off topic. We were talking about, like a story, Did you have anybody in pro ball? Any big leaguers? Or I know you worked with JT Snow a little bit.
Yeah, I worked with JT Snow. He was spring training. He came and worked with the first basemen for a full week, and that was freaking awesome.
Like, you need big league, you guys? Like,
No.
was it just like, let's
Nope.
go to work?
And he was just, I think, a year or two out of retiring, so he could still play, and he could pick it still. I mean, it was JT Snow. We're talking about one of the best defensive first basemans.
Is there any better
I mean,
as defensively?
maybe not.
I don't think so.
So it was just
Best I've seen. Who's
Yeah.
better?
Era? What? Are you
Is
talking
that
about
because he was
era?
on the Giants again?
I'm talking defense. Just defense.
Era, though, or like ever?
Ever. Who's better?
how many gold gloves does he have? I don't know. I'm just saying. I don't know.
I don't know either.
I don't know. I'm just saying my
I mean-
experience, which was the question, Lappin, that
I
mean, Mark Teixeira was pretty good.
yeah.
fuck, you still going?
He asked me a question.
Hey,
Sorry, continue.
no, it's cool. It was good. It was
No,
good. It was good.
he asked me a question. I was answering
Good
it.
time.
Sorry, proceed. My bad.
No, you taught us how to play first base.
And before that, you had no prior first base experience?
No, never. Luckily I could hit a little bit. No, but
you
best
hit one of the farthest bombs I ever saw.
the one in Tri-City,
Yeah. Where you hit it more than anything.
the Oppo Taco, or
Yeah.
the pulled.
No, the Oppo.
Yeah,
First ball I saw you hit was at Fresno City, Final Four, batting practice. So it was right center.
over the scoreboard.
There's two warehouse buildings, one that's in right field, one in right center. You hit it over the scoreboard, landed on top of the warehouse building in right center. I mean, it's like 100 feet between the fence and that building. It was a 500+ shot.
At least.
That was the most impressive. That was the most impressive
No,
ball
I
I've seen.
I'm gonna have to get it.
the one Leonard hit at Sac City at nighttime, our freshman year,
I don't even remember it.
that disappeared in right field.
I mean, the ball you hit at Clemson pretty far too.
yeah.
I remember that one.
I mean, you don't even you don't even see where it ended up.
Yeah, because it disappeared.
Who was it off of? Colvin?
We're gonna have to take a break and get.
Well,
We're
that
gonna
was,
go grab Chad's
it wasn't
ego
off of
and
him.
pull that
He was on that team.
Let's
he
just
was.
blow it up some more.
Great. Ricky Saldati, just want to let you know that I'm not the one talking about myself.
Hey, so we go to Stanford, right? And I FaceTime Ricky and we're showing him the field, and Ricky's listening to one of the episodes. He goes, hey, Chad, I got some tips for you. And we're like, what? He's all, stop talking about you. What about you?
What about me? I don't like talking about myself.
Oh, well, but in
That's a
pro ball.
We found out Batesall's thing. You guys got fined for talking about yourself.
Yeah,
Oh,
nobody
yeah.
cares.
No,
Nobody cares.
Nobody cares.
I love that.
By the way, if you haven't listened to it, you need to go listen to Coach Batesall's episode.
Yep.
Anyways, in pro ball, any experiences with some big leaguers or
I mean, not,
something
not
that
anything,
you remember?
Not anything like hands on like that. No. We got to Matt Holliday. He kind of I don't remember why exactly, but we were in the weight room. I'm not sure what the group was, whether it was hitters, pitchers, everybody, whatever. But I don't know. He just kind of, they asked, the Rockies organization asked him to speak with us during spring training one day, and he did. And he was super cool and nice and relatable and down to earth and all that. Troy Tulowitzki was around, but he never really.
He was quiet.
Yeah, he kind of just.
To himself.
Yeah, which is fine. I'm fine with that. I didn't really. But other than that, I mean, I got to meet Reggie Jackson at one of the games in Charleston because he was with the that's where the Yankees low A was at the time, and he was I think he was the hitting rover or something, and we had a rain out and we just were just hanging out at the field for 4 hours. And he came over to our dugout randomly and just started chatting up with all of us. And I was like, that was pretty cool. This guy's one of the best ever. And we get to just hang out and talk with him for a minute. That was probably the coolest thing that I ever got to be around.
They can field and then
See,
some can hit.
I had one that was the Oppo where he played third base and didn't wear a cup. And that guy was Swiss cheese at third, man. Holes, because he didn't want to block anything. But that guy could hit. Rainier Contreras. Remember that name? He got up to double A, but he could hit. Could not field.
Pretty much like every other baseball player, right? They're good at some things, not at others.
Most
Some
are
of
like
them are good at
most are
all
like
of
me
them.
and Chad, where we can do a little of both. Yeah.
Andrew's I don't know how he evaluates.
I don't either, dude. He's
You should be a scout.
No, you're
I would
about.
love- I would
You got a
love-
guy in the big leagues
I would love to
who
see
spent
Andy's
a career,
scouting board.
in Matt Cain, who's gonna get a pension.
Terrible.
And he sucks, right?
Okay, I admit it. I was just saying that to argue with Brian.
Oh, all right.
I don't think he sucks at all.
I would like to see if Andy was a scout. His scouting board would be hilarious.
I could tell you,
I can tell you too.
and he wouldn't go scout.
No.
It's a waste of time. I've heard it.
Oh man.
It's high school baseball.
It's high school baseball. What are you scouting? Their inconsistencies? They don't know how to play baseball yet.
That would drive him nuts. Remember that year we had Buchanan? They were at 6 games, and then he'd be like, "What are they doing here? What are they doing here? It's high school baseball."
Go have a life.
Yeah.
Go have a life. Enjoy your family. It's high school baseball.
Was that 15? Was Gamboa's year?
Yeah, it was Gamboa.
He came 5 or 6 games.
This guy showed up to every game, even if he wasn't pitching. It's what are you doing? You scared, bro?
Yeah, they were.
They were scared.
We were fucking good. And we would have smoked them too.
Except for the manager didn't pitch Gamboa that day.
No, the manager didn't show up to the game we lost in the playoffs.
Yeah,
No.
Why? Was somebody getting born?
Henry.
he had a baby.
Yeah.
Right.
Freaking Henry made me miss 2 games. I'm still pissed at him for that.
Well, we won one.
Most people are like, that's the happiest day of your life. I was so conflicted on that day. It was a rough one.
As Bezos would say, nobody cares. Make it reasonable.
All right. You're right. We're done.
Let's end this, Jake.
Again, if you haven't listened to Coach Batesall, episode 35, go check it out. I don't know what's next, but there'll be a couple more coming up. We're going to figure out, too, how we'll work in the high school baseball season this year. And just thanks for joining with us, Woody, Lappin, as always.
Big ballin'.
Hootie hoo.
Droz, for nothing. Did you say Hootie Who?
You don't know what that's from?
No.
Isn't that from
You don't know what it's from?
Neighbors? Yeah.
I don't remember.
Seth Rogen and Zac Efron. Yeah.
I've seen it once, I think.
That's the frat house is called Hootie Who.
Oh yeah, it is.
Anyways, Hit or Die?
Hit or Die. That's episode 36, Bush League number 8. Happy New Year. Chad, anything else?
Hit or die.
Hit or die.
Hit or die.